hear enough like enthusiasm. You guys need to wake up a little bit more. Thank you. All right. My name is Kasha Lindley. I am the CEO and founder of Hope for 22 a Day. It's a charity that I started accidentally about 4 years ago now. July 27th of 2022 is our instatement. I started it because a little bit of a backstory. My grandfather passed away from lung cancer in May, and I wanted to commemorate him in a way that considered sharing his life story and what he did in the Army as well. He served in the 1950s in Munich, Germany, and the only stories that I ever got from that man, because he was such a flirt, was that of the Pinup girls and the USO girls that came over and did little tours for them and everything. So those are the only stories I got from my grandfather. And so one of my friends came up to me who actually did Pinup, and she said, why don't we do a Pinup Girl calendar as the fundraiser? So this is our 4th year running now with this calendar. I design all of the outfits with the girls. We get together once a year for an event, and we do the photography shoot, and every single one of these girls represent a different mental health awareness and branch of the military. Sorry. This is Miss Lisa. She was supposed to be here today, but she is representing depression. And then, of course, we have our firefighter, Miss Rose, and she is representing the yellow ribbon, Support Our Troops, which I don't know if you guys know about this, but the yellow ribbon is actually not used very much anymore because of the way that the families are treated during the deployment time. Usually it's for the families to sit outside and to use and everything, to basically say that, you know, their loved ones are deployed and everything, but there's a lot of sad stories that go on behind that, so it's actually not used anymore. But we still try to give commemoration towards the families that served. I don't know if you recognize this one. I did the Rosie the Riveter this year, and she is representing SA within the military community. There is a lot of SA, unfortunately, not just within the community of the spouses, but also those who serve. And so we try to give awareness to that as well.
What is SA?
Sexual assault. Sorry, I was trying to be.
It's okay.
Okay. This is Miss Betsy Ross. She is an amazing, amazing girl. She has a book called Fight, which brings around stories about PTSD within the military community. It's like a chicken soup for your soul type of thing. A bunch of different stories, commemorations of soldiers who have survived the war, and give stories about how they survive PTSD every single day. She is our Navy girl this year, and she is representing addiction. The Navy is actually the highest form of addiction out of all the branches, believe it or not. So, in case you wanted to know something, there you go. We also give awareness towards our Gold Star families. Who knows what a Gold Star is? I probably don't have to explain it then, but I'm going to go ahead and do so. Gold Stars are the family members of the KIA and those who went missing. So please consider, during this holiday season, remember the reason why we're here. Memorial Day is actually one of those days that we really truly give awareness towards that. We don't thank our veterans or our military active duty service members for their service that day, because that actually brings a lot of heartache towards them. This is a very near and dear friend of mine. Her story, I am allowed to tell. She is a nurse, and she actually, unfortunately, saw her husband shoot himself, and she tried to bring him back several times before it was too late. And so she is our Gold Star mom, our Gold Star wife, and she brings a lot of awareness towards the community. She goes around to different events and everything and shares her story and what she's went through. So please go do me a favor. If you know a Gold Star family member, please thank them and let them know that you're there for them. Tell them that you're willing to go have coffee with them if they're willing to share their story. This is Miss Courtney. She is representing our Coast Guard this year and PTSD awareness. The month of June is actually the month of men's mental health. And so PTSD actually runs higher in men than it does in women. And it also runs higher actually in firefighters, more so than any other branch of the military, believe it or not. And the reason for that is because a lot of the times they have to go past the places where it triggers them, basically, if that makes any sense. So our soldiers that come home from war, they get to leave that behind, even though it's still in their minds. The firefighters, they have to go past certain streets and certain homes that remind them of that PTSD, why they have it. So keep that in mind. In the Coast Guard, by the way, the highest rating of suicide is actually in the Coast Guard, believe it or not, because of how quickly their deployments actually are. Their deployments are anywhere between 8 weeks to 3 months. They're shorter deployments, but they have to go more often than any other branch of the military. This is Miss Anna, and she is actually our Miss Hope for 22 Days. She won the contest last year. She is now a survivor. She found out the week after she won this that she had colon cancer, and she fought really hard to still be here. She wore that sash and that crown to every single one of her appointments, and whenever she rang the bell in February. So she is cancer-free at this point in time, and a strong, amazing mother. She's representing our police and anti-bullying. Anti-bullying is a huge movement right now. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the bullying movement online has actually doubled or tripled within the past few years. People are more and more, I guess, willing to be keyboard warriors and to knock people down off of whatever courageous pedestal that they have. And so we try to bring awareness towards bullying and what our children go through and everything. Kids go through a lot during our school year, and a lot of the times the schools don't really do anything about bullying, unfortunately. So the more we can talk about it, the more we bring awareness about it, the better off we're going to be. This is Miss Ashley. Her name is Lily Sky. She's an Air Force veteran and a Pinup as well. She served in the Air Force for about 5 years, and she's also a cancer survivor as well. Twice she fought breast cancer, so she's an amazing warrior. We are bringing awareness towards Agent Orange for the Air Force. I told her to do a little bit more of the Army Air Corps back in the 1950s, and her grandfather served in the Army back in the 1950s, and unfortunately was a survivor of Agent Orange. And believe it or not, it actually takes 3 generations to get rid of that, in case you didn't know that. 3 generations. So your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids are going to be the ones that don't have it anymore. So keep that in mind for Agent Orange. This is our first ever mother-daughter duo, and this is Miss Lily Valentine and Miss Sasha Valentine. They are the POW and the KIA pinups for this year's calendar. POWs are, I'm sure I don't have to explain it, but does anybody know what a POW is? Prisoner of war. Does anybody know what a KIA is? Killed in action. Those 2 things are very prominent in the military community, both during service and after service as well. Keep the families of the KIA and the POWs in mind as well. This is Miss Sarah. She's such a bubbly little character. I love her so much. She did our nurse pinup this year, and this one's actually near and dear to my heart because she's also representing breast cancer awareness. My husband, his grandmother passed away from breast cancer. She was an amazing woman that I never got to meet, but I idolize her so much for the family that she left behind because everybody has something amazing to say about her. She did an amazing job of not only raising her children, being in Amarillo Theater, but also being an amazing grandmother to commemorate. So the HCH of Amarillo, the Circle of Friends, is my mother-in-law's charity, and they actually raise funds for breast cancer families. Anybody who is a survivor of a breast cancer family member, they try to help them pay for their bills. They pay for the funeral costs, for flowers, anything that they end up needing. This one, we all know the Marine Corps love their crayons, right? Or at least those of you who know. She is actually getting married next month to a Marine, and we made sure and we did him proud. TBI awareness. Does anybody know what TBI is? Traumatic brain injury. The most traumatic brain injuries are actually in the Marines than any other military service. So please keep that in mind as well. And then this one's a fun little one. She is a 5-time cancer survivor. Melanoma and breast cancer. She actually lost most of her leg. We had to do some tweaking towards the picture a little bit because it was so distorted, but I told her to show off that leg and give us, what you're proud of, what you went through and everything. So she's also a Blue Star mom. Does anybody know what a Blue Star is? Sure. Blue Star family member. They're anybody who's a family member of anyone who was serving, basically. So I'm a Blue Star spouse. My husband's been serving for 18 years. We'll be married 19 years next month, actually. And he's hopefully retiring soon. But anyways, so.
Gotta get that garage cleaned out.
Yeah, a little bit. I started this charity, like I said, 4 years ago because I wanted to commemorate my grandfather and his service, but I also wanted to commemorate the service that my husband has done, obviously, within the past 18 years as well. We have moved 11 times with our 4 children over the past 18 years, which is not easy to do, in case you're wondering. Don't highly suggest it, but you can do it. One of the things that we try to bring awareness to as well is our children, our military kids. April is the month of the military child, and we try to commemorate that as much as possible. This past year, we gave over 250 purple t-shirts to military children at Altus Air Force Base. And we were able to sit down with them and paint little rocks and everything that are actually going in the backpacks that we do. So the main thing that we do with Hope for 22 a Day is we do backpacks for homeless veterans. I had the opportunity down in Biloxi at Keesler Air Force Base to go over to New Orleans at one point in time. And I got to see the devastation, what New Orleans looks like for our homeless veterans, for anybody who's homeless. A lot of these veterans choose to stay on the street because it's familiar to them. And a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that, at least. And so I formulated the first 40 backpacks without my charity to try to help in some way, shape, or form as much as I could. I had a little Bible study group down there, and we got together and we did about 40 backpacks that we gave away to the New Orleans homeless shelter downtown. So with that in mind, I wanted to continue that with Hope for 22 a Day. As of today, we have given away over 500 backpacks to our homeless veterans in various different states, including Texas, Tennessee, Georgia. We're going up to Kansas this year. This Friday, actually, we are going to be doing 200 more backpacks that we have been fundraising since February this year. And every single backpack, this is an idea of what we put in it. This is actually the boxes that we do at Christmas time. So the first half of the year, we do backpacks. The second half of the year, we do boxes for troops deployed overseas. And that starts in July. That fundraiser starts coming up. But
Excuse me.
the main idea for the backpacks is we spare no expense, and every single backpack is filled to the brim. We actually want to thank Miss Alana for giving us some t-shirts from Ambucks. We appreciate her very much for helping out with that. Every single backpack has a sleeping bag, a hot meal that they can pour hot water in, or an MRE. It has a first aid kit that I build myself because it's cheaper that way, and I can fit more in a little sandwich baggie. That's a lot to do, by the way, when you're doing that 200 times. But it has Band-Aids and gauze and antiseptamine, it has emergency, it has Tylenol in there, it has all kinds of different things that could help them on the street. This year, I had a veteran ask if we could do the is it the P93 can opener? Or P39? 38, whatever it was. Anyways, he said that was his lifesaver on the streets, was having a P38 can opener. It's a little bitty can opener, old fashioned, you do it by hand and everything. And I was like, sure, yeah, we'll add that. My husband was deployed to Kuwait one time, and when we sent over 100 boxes to him, he unknowingly knew about. The backstory with that is when he was deployed the first time to Oman and to Syria, I could not send him a box, unfortunately. Every single time I sent him a box, my husband's weather. So he goes with the spec ops, right? And so he kind of gets those special missions, right? I hate them, he loves them, so, you know. I sit there worrying day in and day out, and he's like, oh yeah, no, it's fun, it's great. And I'm like, okay, good for you. So I couldn't send him a box, and it was very heartbreaking for me and the kids because we wanted him to have those photos, those memories. The kids had, you know, their report cards in there and things like that, and we really wanted him to have that, but it got sent back 4 different times. So by the 4th time it got there, the kids were all in school, and I basically sat there and cried on the floor and opened it up and just ate all the chocolate that was in there. So I decided to start doing boxes as well the same year that we were doing this, to commemorate the fact that we know our service members do a lot for us overseas. We know how much the families actually endure during that time frame as well. And if it wasn't for random people sending over boxes overseas, my husband would have never received one. And he desperately needed one at one point in time. So it was very moving for him whenever he did receive it. Every single box, again, we spare no expense. It is stuffed full to the brim with all kinds of different snacks. I get the school kids involved, and we paint little ornaments for them and everything like that too. Everything all the way down to homemade soap. I actually started making homemade soap in my garage, which is another thing that I need to cover. All of the soap is for sale online at Hope for 22 a day as well. I did bring flyers. I wasn't sure if I could hand them out or not, so I'll go around after I'm done and hand you a flyer if you want. We do have a poker run coming up on August 1st, and if you guys would like to come out and be a part of what we do and everything, we'd love to have you. The poker run is going to start at 10 a.m. at the VFW in Midwest City, and that's actually where we're going to be this weekend, packing all the backpacks as well. So if you're not busy on Friday night, come over for some pizza and some Cokes and help us pack some backpacks as well at the VFW in Midwest City. One of the things that I'll end with is the whole reason for saying Hope for 22 a day is we know that we can't ever end the 22 a day. Does anybody know what the 22 a day is, by the way? The suicide awareness, right, within our veteran community. It's actually not 22 a day. Does anybody know the real number?
Higher.
It's higher than that, right? Does anybody want to take a guess?
40.
Higher than 40?
You know.
100.
No. You were very close though. 44. It's actually doubled. And does anybody know, I know nobody knows this one, but does anybody know how many military spouses take their lives a day? Spouses. This one I actually had to look up because I didn't know either. There's 11 spouses that take their lives every day because of the hardships that we go through. A lot of people want to make fun of us for what we go through as military spouses, but it's hard. It is so hard. There's a lot of mental health that comes with it. Moving all the time, watching our kids grow up without their friends, watching them grow up without family members around, having to move all the way across, not even just the country, but across the world. And then having to be without our spouses for a numerous amount of time with no family and no support. So there's 11 spouses that take their lives every day. I hate bringing this one up. Does anybody know how many kids, military children, how many kids take their lives? And this one actually hits home a little bit for me because I have a daughter. Just recently went through something, and we don't talk enough about what the kids go through, their mental health, how it affects them on a day-to-day basis. Being a child in the military, growing up without family, without friends, having to constantly say goodbye to their loved ones. There's 8 babies under the age of 18. That one hits home a little bit more for me because I have 4 children and because of my daughter. Does anybody know how many parents of the 22 a day want to join their children? This one hits home too because I've known several that have taken their lives because they can't stand the pain of losing a child. There's 9. Obviously, I'm not telling you this to bring down the room or anything. I'm telling you this for awareness so that you know to share with someone else as well and to hopefully give a little bit of hope back into this community, right? One thing that we say at Hope for 22 a Day is we may never be able to end the 22 a day, but we can bring it hope through boxes, through backpacks, and by giving awareness for different mental health awarenesses. Thank you so much.